So I'm sure you guys have seen Meta stock is up over 6% right now, and it's currently about 11 a.m. after the company reported earnings yesterday. And mind you, when the company reported earnings, the stock went from around $295, $300, all the way to $325. And in the pre-market today, guys, if I zoom in, you'll be able to see it. We hit $330 per share. Then we pulled back a little bit at open, and now we're at $318 as we are technically still pulling back here intraday. So we're going to break down Meta in this video, the earnings, the numbers, all that good stuff. But before we do that, guys, don't forget to get up to 16 stocks from Moomoo, the sponsor of today's video, using that link down below, or by simply going to stocksurfest.com/Moomoo. Check it out. All the details are down below. We'll talk more about that later. So with that being said, guys, cheers. Let's dive right into the video. So check it out. We had Meta, like I said, hit $330 per share in the pre-market. That was at around what time? 8:15, 8 a.m. on the East Coast, meaning it was up at $1.32 per share, or over 10%. And for a stock that's already up so much, for another big move like that to happen, you better believe the earnings had to have been good, right? And now on the 1 day, obviously on the 1 day we're at a fresh high, but on the 5-day, 10-day, 20-day, you name it, on the 4-hour chart, we're trading at a fresh high on Meta. And now you can see it was under $100 just about, how many months ago? 8 months ago, whatever that was. It was $88, and now we're pushing, like I said, over $300. This is unbelievable, and we can see now with this move, we're taking out the highs from the last couple of weeks as well. In the middle of July, we struggled at around $315. We double topped there, and now clearly we took it out, and we're starting to pull back towards that double top, which now is support. That could act as support here coming up for Meta. We'll see what it does at around 315, 320. That's pretty much where we are now. This is a very big spot for the bull. So let me come over here, guys, to the actual earnings release. I don't want to break down the charts too much in this video because everybody knows Meta's at all-time, or not all-time highs, but it's at highs on the 4-hour, the 1-hour, and it's getting pretty close to all-time highs. Now, everybody knows that, but what people don't really know much about, or maybe they haven't looked into for themselves, are these numbers, guys. So let's go over these numbers, break down what's going on here based on the earnings that just came out. So if I zoom in a little bit, you guys can see revenue came in at $32 billion. Last year it was 28.8, so that's 11% growth year over year. Very strong. Income from operations, you guys can see that also increased about $1 billion. Last year it was $8.3 billion, and it just came in at $9.3 billion, up 12% year over year. That's great. And net income rose 16% as diluted EPS rose 21%. Look at that, guys. EPS was $2.46 last year. Now it's at $2.98, and net income was $6.7 billion roughly last year, and now it came in at $7.8 billion. Pretty insane there. Pretty good growth there across the board for revenue, income from operations, net income, EPS. That is great. And when it comes to Meta, as I'm sure a lot of you know, looking at the daily active users, the monthly active users, all that data is very, very important. So let me show you guys what's going on right now very quickly. So family daily active people were 3.07 billion people on average for June 2023, an increase of 7% year over year. You heard that right, 7%, guys. And think about that, 3.07 billion. What's the population on Earth? Like 8 billion or a little bit less, whatever the heck it is. I don't keep track of that too often, guys. But, I mean, pretty much half of that, or a third of that, or 0.35 of that is, part of the family daily active people. That is just insane to think about. And family monthly active people was even higher than that, 3.88 billion, pretty much half of the world here we're talking about, guys. Think about that for a second. That is just, it's unfathomable. That number, it's insane. As of June 30th, that's an increase of 6%. You guys can see year over year. Facebook now, just the Facebook platform, daily active users were 2.06 billion. That was an increase of 5% year over year. And think about it, just Facebook, guys, over 2 billion daily active users and over 3 billion monthly active users for Facebook, guys. 3.03 billion as of June 30th. That's an increase of 3% year over year. That is unbelievable. And that was flat at one point. And the stock took a hit. I remember that. That was maybe that was a year ago. I forget. Let me know in the comments if you remember exactly what quarter that was. But you guys remember that when it was flat and the stock took a beating. And clearly now it's growing a little bit again. And mind you, it's not going to grow 10-15% for monthly daily active users because of the sheer amount of people that they already have, obviously. I mean, that's kind of how that works. There's so many people already on these platforms, it's almost impossible to grow at 10, 15, 20% anymore like they used to. And you guys probably know that, obviously. And coming down here a little bit, revenue increased 11%. Yes, we covered that already. They repurchased $793 million of their Class A common stock, all right, in the second quarter of 2023. As of June 30th, they had $40.9 billion available and authorized for share repurchases. That is insane. And look at this number, guys. Look at how much cash Meta has right now. Cash equivalents, and marketable securities. That came in at $53.45 billion. And free cash flow was almost $11 billion in the second quarter of 2023, which is pretty nuts. And their head count, I'm not sure if you caught this, but their head count decreased 14% year over year. So they're laying off people, guys. They're laying off people left and right. And unfortunately, yes, people are losing their jobs, but at the end of the day, for the actual business, this does help the business, on the margin side of things, it helps the bottom line, all of that, right? We're not going to get into that in this video, but you know that. And from a business perspective, when you're maybe facing a recession or tough economic times, whatever you want to call it, laying off people to save on money, it makes sense. It's just business at the end of the day, guys. It's kind of how it works. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments, guys. And by the way, if you have not gotten your free stocks yet for Moomoo, what are you waiting for? Simply use that link down below. Once you open up your account and fund it with at least $100, you get 5 stocks right off the bat. And if you fund it with at least $1,000, you get 10 more stocks, totaling 15 stocks. And mind you, guys, each of those is valued up to $2,000. Pretty crazy. And if you fund your account with at least $5,000 on top of those 15 stocks, you also get a free share of either Tesla stock or Expedia stock, which makes this a no-brainer. So use that link down below. And of course, full disclosure, that is an affiliate link. It helps out the channel. I appreciate you guys as always. And with that being said, cheers. Let's continue on here with what's going on with, the revenue by user geography, advertising revenue, and so forth here, so we can get a little bit more of a visual from the actual earnings. These are the slides, essentially, right? If you guys go on Facebook or Meta Investor Relations, you'll easily find this pretty easily. It's right there for you guys to find. It's pretty simple stuff. So let me see what we're looking at here, and it keeps doing that, guys. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Hold on. So check it out, guys. We have advertising revenue by user geography right here. And of course, as expected, in the darkest color here, we have US and Canada. And guess what? They're dominating advertising revenue by user geography. Then we have Europe, it seems like, Asia Pacific, followed by the rest of the world. That's kind of the order here, from greatest revenue to least, right? And if we come down here a little bit more, it gives you another visual here. This is quarter by quarter, right? Quarter by quarter in terms of revenue by user geography. And these are the segment results, guys, which of course, they're making a ton of money from advertising. That's been growing. That's the top line here. That's been growing over time. And of course, family of apps revenue has been growing as well over the past couple of years, slowly, but it has been growing. I mean, look, Q2 2021, it was at $28 billion, and now we just did in Q2 2023, 2 years later, $31 billion. Not bad. And this is the expenses as a percentage of revenue, the effective tax rate. Net income has come down, guys. This is in millions. So we did do, they did do about $10.3 billion in net income in Q2 2021, and that dropped to $7.7 billion, even with the 14% decrease in the workforce from year over year, or from last year rather. And this is the diluted earnings per share. That's also come down, even though it has come up in the past couple of quarters. Actually, look at this, guys. Pretty good V-shaped recovery forming here in the diluted EPS, but still from last year, from 2 years ago, or actually from 2 years ago, it is down, and capital expenditures are up. We can see family daily active people. We talked about that, monthly active, daily active users, all that good stuff. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. I don't want to go too crazy here. These videos would be way too long if we did really dive deep into everything, but that's a quick breakdown here and some key highlights from the earnings, and just a quick breakdown on the charts as Facebook, or Meta, I keep calling it Facebook. I'm so used to doing that, guys, and I just lost my train of thought. Either way, the stock's up 7%. It's crushing it. EPS, revenue, it was strong across the board. They're growing daily active people, users for Facebook. I mean, this is a beast of a company. We've known that. And the main reason, well, there's probably a couple of reasons as to why the company got dogged over the last year or throughout 2022. The main reason is because of course, Zuckerberg going way too hard on the metaverse, dumping a ton of money way too quick, way too soon. That scared off a lot of investors, pissed off a lot of investors. That's probably the main reason. And of course, you could argue a lot of people were boycotting Facebook or Meta in general due to freedom of speech, or this or that, or censorship, which you can make that argument with pretty much any social platform out there. Maybe not so much Twitter anymore since Elon bought it, but you know what I mean, right? So those were the two things that were really dogging Meta. And then Mark pretty much said, look, we're going to pull back a little bit on the metaverse. We're going to start laying people off, helping the bottom line, and doing this, doing that. And the stock's done very well. And he pretty much regained, I would say, maybe not fully, but he regained some of the shareholders' trust, because a lot of people lost faith in the stock. I mean, for this thing to go from 380 to 88, that was unbelievable. I mean, we're not talking about a penny stock here, guys. We're not talking about some crap company. We're talking about one of the most profitable, dominant companies in the world to go down 80%, their stock, to do that. That is not normal. That is not normal. Imagine Apple or Google. I think Google went down 35% from top to bottom. But imagine this going down 80. I mean, that'd just be, actually no, Google went down 45%. Wow, that was actually huge. But either way, guys, Meta got clobbered. Lost a lot of faith. A lot of people lost faith in Mark Zuckerberg. And now I think they're slowly starting to gain it back, maybe, or maybe not fully. I don't know. What do you guys think? But maybe just a little bit. So what do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. We're almost at 30,000 subs. And guys, don't forget to get your free stocks from Moomoo. Link down below. All the details are in that link, stocksurfest.com/Moomoo. Check it out. I appreciate you all as always, because that is an affiliate link. It helps out the channel, and you get a bunch of free stocks. So check it out. And with that being said, cheers. I'll see you in the next video.